Okay, so welcome to my carving video. Um, I'm going to be carving stone today, and I will be working on this cute little pup that I have roughed out. And by rough out, I mean that I have removed as much of the stone around the pattern as I want before I start actually carving. Now, what I want to do next is one, um, outline the lines on here around the ears, um, the legs, etc., under the chin, um, so that I have some stop cuts going, and then I will begin my carving. Okay? So, one of the reasons why I have more outlines around this area is because I plan on moving the paw down just a little bit. And I'm probably going to move this one up a little bit. Mostly because I have a little issue here with the stone. And I want to try and avoid that. So, um, here we go. And when I move this up here a little bit, I'm not really going to move this much. Okay? So, outlining it with my knife isn't really a problem. One thing I did not discuss is safety. So, you notice that on my thumb, on my right thumb, because I'm using my right hand to carve at the moment, although I don't always, I have this neat little guard, okay? I make these myself because, as you can tell, that one's pretty chewed up. They get chewed up awfully fast, alright? And since I dropped mine, I'm going to have to pick that up. So, yeah, I basically just made a little pattern, cut some scrap leather, and sewed it to some elastic. Things like this will cost, I don't know, $5 or $6 sometimes, and geez, I buy scrap leather, it cost me maybe $1 or $2, some thread. These are cheaper, lots cheaper. Plus, I can make them to fit. Alright, since that's done, I can start actually carving. So this stone is a pyrophyllite. It's technically a soapstone. You'll notice I removed these patterns really fast. They're pretty much just here to help me keep track of where the arms and legs are and stuff, or forelimbs and back limbs, whatever. Alright, so back to the stone itself. The stone itself is, like I said, a pyrophyllite. It's technically a soapstone. Most people don't realize that soapstone isn't a specific type of stone. It is a category of stones. Most people, when they think of soapstone, they think of talc. Now, yes, there are quite a few soapstones that have quite a bit of talc in them. This is not one of them. This is significantly tougher than that. Those are, I don't know, 1 or 2 on the Mohs scale, which means you can scratch them with a fingernail. This, I cannot scratch with my fingernails. It is considerably tougher than that. Now, you'll notice me doing all kinds of things with my knife, and I'm just using an X-Acto blade here, and part of the reason why is when I started curving stone, what I had was an X-Acto knife kind of like this, and a few files, all right? Just actually considerably smaller than this, more like these size files. And I slowly bought hand tools and some power tools as I went along, but mostly when I started out it was pretty much just some X-Acto blades and a chunk of stone. You would think that that wouldn't be enough to get started, but gosh, you could get started with a lot less. Our ancestors used one rock against another to make stone carving, so there's no reason why you couldn't do that. Now, I have used a little jewelry saw on this right in here, but I did not go all the way through. Part of the reason is I'm going to reduce the width of the head, and that will help me quite a bit. And I will have a little bit more control where it goes and what happens, okay? Trying to saw all the way through on this side it's just kind of difficult for me, and I don't like not having the extra control. But anyway, so I'm going to remove the part of the pattern from the head here, and Sometimes you can peel these up really easy. Other times they just don't want to come up. Looks like this one's just not wanting to come up. Alright. One of the things I was going to mention about the knife is I will do things with this knife, because it's an X-Acto blade, that I would not do with a more expensive knife. And I will abuse it in various ways. Now, I do resharpen them quite often, but they don't cost much, and I also recycle the blades, and so I don't mind if they get damaged. I do have more expensive knives that I'm significantly more careful with. This is not one of them. One of the reasons I keep turning the carving instead of working only on one side or one area, that is because like to keep things balanced. All artists do. It's a lot easier to do that if we work on the whole thing. So that means turning it a lot. Alright, now. Let's see. You also want to keep things fairly even. So you notice maybe I've taken more over on here than over here, or so I'll keep turning the carving and making sure that those are basically balanced. And I really won't get too close to the ears. I like leaving myself a little bit of space. I might decide, for instance, that I want to change maybe the shape of the ears. So I will, yeah, I'll cut around it, like on the lines of the shape that I've drawn. But I will make sure to leave a tiny bit of room all the way around when I actually do carve. And yeah, that Band-Aid is pretty much there to keep my finger protected. I need to make new finger guards, and I haven't done that. So yeah, I will make sure that all the way around that ear, I try to give myself a little bit of space. Really not doing anything off camera except taking a better look at the carving. I'm kind of nearsighted, so every once in a while I have to bring it up to my eyes. All right. Not everything that makes it into the drawing is gonna happen on the carving. Sometimes I will change things. Like I said, the patterns are pretty much just there to make sure I keep track of where things go. Yeah, that's definitely gonna have to be moved up. Won't do that yet, though. I'm gonna remove my tail, the little tail here first. And you noticed I left a bunch of room around the tail. One of the reasons I did that is because I may decide that I don't like the shape or length of the tail. In this particular case, I think I will make the tail just a tad longer. Don't think I'm gonna curve it, but I might decide to. Make him look like he's maybe wagging, or she is wagging. Could be kind of cute. She's a happy little pup, and I want her to look happy. Actually, standing up like that on her little back legs. Bark, bark. This is what I mean by abusing a blade. Do not do that with a good knife. Definitely dulls it, but sometimes there's just no choice. That's why we have X-Acto blades. Another great thing about X-Acto blades is when you're working this small, you can get into areas like between the legs and stuff like that a lot easier. So speaking of which, I may start carving that out too. It does go pretty quickly sometimes, like it is now, but you know, other times no. It doesn't. Okay, so I'm gonna go up like this and like that. And you notice I'm starting, looks like, yeah, starting to wear that tip down just a little bit. It's no longer as sharp as it was, which doesn't really matter for this kind of carving, but if you're like carving fine details or things like that, you need a much sharper point. That can become an issue. Alright. It's not going to have much space there, am I? Eventually, there won't be much left except for the ear pattern. Now I need to take a closer look here. Alright. Alright. So, yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing this until I have everything down the way I want it. have absolutely no idea how other stone carvers do this, if they do this. Mostly because I don't really know any. I started this maybe 10 years ago, and really I taught myself, and I didn't really imagine that I would become actually very good at it. So, yeah. I didn't take any classes. Well, I think I've made a pretty good start on it. I'm going to continue that pretty much off camera. Probably also going to move that leg up off camera. Basically, that's just peeling the pattern up, cutting it, and then re-gluing it if I need. I may not need. But at this point, I can pretty much remove the back leg patterns without any problem. They can go away. And yeah, that needs to be significantly narrower there. But not that big of a deal. Yeah, I'll just cut that down. Like that. Yeah, that was a good start. Alright, well, guess I will see you guys next time.